Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's begin sines and cosines. And we are with this one right here. Now, I kind of mixed up law and sines and cosines and all that in here, so we have to basically think about all of our cases. We have 4 different cases, so we got to make sure which one's going to work. If you can't do that, just always start with sine and see if it works. If it doesn't work, it's probably going to end up being the other one. So, does law of sines work for this? Well, I have to have an angle on its opposite side, which I have 37 in x. I don't have any other angles on their opposite sides, and I probably can't find them. I'm thinking law of sines probably won't work. And this actually is a case 1 for cosine. So this is a cosine one, and the way we know that is we have an angle and its 2 included sides. So we're going to always start with the angle. So I start with the cosine of 37 degrees. Okay. On the other side, opposite the angle, is where we start with the other side of the equation, and that's x squared. Now we fill in the rest. Okay, it's 22 squared plus 13 squared minus 2 times 22 times 13 times the cosine of 37. Now most of you are pretty good at plugging this all in your calculator at once, but you know Mr. Smith, he's old and slow. So we're going to do 22 squared plus 13 squared, and we're going to wind up with 653 minus 2 times 22 times 13 equals 572 times the cosine of 37 equals x squared. Now again, we don't want to subtract these two. That's a rookie move. We want to put these in parentheses in our calculator. So next we go 653 minus, sorry, a lot of this is done on the calculator, minus parentheses 572 times the cosine of 37. And we wind up with about approximately x squared equals 196.1804. I'm going to take the square root of both sides, but instead of replugging this in, this is already in my calculator, so I'm just going to take the square root of that answer. Okay, so square root of my answer in my calculator, and you should get 14.0064453. Now I'm writing it all out so that you're getting the exact same thing as me, because my answer is the best answer, and that's the answer you should have. Alright, cool. Number 2. Okay, well, what am I trying to find? I got 45, I got 79, and I want to find x. Okay, in order to do this, I need opposites and I need their angles. Okay, I can set up one that I have information on right here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, is this law of sines or cosines? Well, law of sines would state I need at least 2 angles on an opposite side, which this suffices. Law of cosine says I need 2 sides and include an angle, don't have that, or all 3 sides, don't have that. Okay, so this has to be the law of sines. So I can start out with the sine of 79 over 32 equals, well, I don't know this angle. I need to know this angle right here so I can get x. Because I know x is going to go on the bottom, but I need to take the sine of its opposite side. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and take 45 plus 79, get 124, and subtract that from 180, and we're going to get 56 degrees up here. And there we go. Now we're all set up. Now we can go ahead and cross multiply. This is going to be 32 times sine of 56 equals x times sine of 79. Now I'm going to divide by sine of 79 because I want x alone. And we have all of this in our calculator. Now let's see if you can get it correct. So this is your calculator ready form right here. Boom. So let's go ahead and I'm going to do it in my calculator. 32 times sine of 56. I'm going to divide that by the sine of 79. And you should come up with 27. Again, I'll write it out to a pretty far point. So 27.0257. Okay? If you're not getting these answers on your calculator, but you're setting it up right, you need to come see me at lunch to get help or during tutorials so that we can get how you use your calculator correctly. Alright, this is all three sides. This has to be cosine. Okay? Has to be law of cosines. We're going to put the x right here. Again, law of cosines, we always have to start with the x. So we're going to do the cosine of x. On the other side, we're going to do equals. Exact opposite of it is what we put it opposite here, which is 10 squared. And then we're going to put in 17 squared plus 11 squared minus 2 times 17 times 11. And here's when we break it down into small pieces. So we're going to break this part, and that part. Okay? So 10 squared is 100. We already knew that. Equals 17 squared plus 11 squared is going to give me 410. Minus 2 times 17 times 11 is 374 times the cosine of x. Again, do not combine those two numbers. We're going to subtract 410 from both sides. Ta-ta-ta. Ta-ta-ta. Okay, if I do that, I should get negative 310 equals negative 374 times the cosine of x. Divide by negative 374 to both sides. Okay, and we come up with 0.8288 approximately equals the cosine of x. So we got to take the inverse cosine. And again, I have this left in my calculator, so I'm going to get a more precise answer. If you wrote this in, you're probably not going to get as precise as me. So I want to make sure you get it as precise as I'm going to. And x should equal 34.016448. So hopefully you got that answer. If you didn't, you need practice with your calculator. Last problem. Okay, this one's interesting. I want to solve actually for everything in this triangle. So I have this angle, I have this angle, and I have this side here. What can I solve for first? Well, I'm going to use law of sines. I'm going to be able to solve for an angle first. So 19 and 85, and then x and 15. So we'll call this x for now. Okay? So this is going to be an in-depth problem. Here we go. Sine of 85 over 19 equals the sine of x over 85. I'm sorry, not 85, 15. Alright, cross multiply, and we're going to get 19 times sine of x equals 15 times the sine of 85. Okay, I want this alone, so I'm going to go ahead and divide by 19. Add the sine of x equals 15 times sine 85 divided by 19, and then I got to take the inverse sine of it so I can get rid of that. So x is going to equal the inverse sine of 15 times sine 85 over 19. Plug that into your calculator. Woo. Okay, I do one step at a time. I do this top row, 15 times sine 85, and then I hit enter. And then I divide by 19, and then I hit enter. And I do second sine, which gives me the inverse sine, and then I put that answer in. And I hit enter. So this becomes 51 point, and this is where we're just going to round to 0.8. Okay? I'm going to erase all of this right here. So I'm going to erase all this. Bye, 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 bye. Okay. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. So we did law of sines. That was nice. Got 51.8. Now I can find this side over here if I add 51.8 plus 85 plus x equals 180. I can solve for the other angle. We'll call it not x, we'll call it y. And we'll do that now. 51.8 plus 85, that gives me 136.8. Subtract that from 180. And we should get y equals 43.2. So this is 43.2. So we got 43.2, 51.8, and then we just need the final side. Okay, final side. Alright, the final side is going to be pretty easy. Let's go ahead and let's write the final side is going to be 19 squared, that's the hypotenuse, it's the largest angle, equals 15 squared plus, we'll call this c squared. Okay, and we'll go ahead and do our math here. 19 squared is 361 equals 15 squared, which is 225, plus c squared, and then we're going to go ahead and subtract the 225. Okay, so 361 minus 225 equals 136 equals c squared, and then take the square root of that. And c equals 11.6. Cool. There we go. All done. Alright guys, see ya.